Hello guys, welcome back for the fourth video of tonight. So this is a topic that I've been thinking about for a little while, of talking about. So when I was younger, when I was like in high school, middle school, it seemed like, I guess my high school and my school experience sucked. I had friends, but I had limited friends. I wouldn't call a lot of them friends. I guess they were more associates than friends, really. So I would group hop. At first, it was really hard, being that I was labeled a lot of things: goody two shoes, geek, nerd, just all these things. I dealt with a lot of bullying and things like that in school. But I realized that as I got older, of course you realize once you get into an adult, that all these high school things don't matter. But I have been seeing these days, just like ever since I was older and got out of high school, how much life is actually like high school. Like everyday life. It doesn't matter where you go, what you're doing. It's like high school all over again, out here in the world, in the city or whatnot. And the reason I say this is because how you have groups of people that like to stick together and other groups that stick together, and they all have things that are in common, of course. So yeah, you know that people with common interests kind of gravitate toward each other, or common I guess anything that somebody has in common, such as sexuality, religion, things that people like to do, work, things like that. But I've also noticed that there's a lot of all the negative things that come with high school. A lot of people don't like to interact with anybody that's different, just like in high school. There's a lot of gossip that goes on, a lot of drama that goes on within groups of people, which is probably why I don't mess with a whole lot of people in large groups. Just because I watch. So I'm more of like a watcher, listener. I try to figure things out. And what do they call that? A wallfly or a wallflower. So you basically can hear and see things and just get an understanding, just being on the outside and listening to all these different groups of people that hang out together. No, not everybody's like that, obviously, but life is actually a lot like high school. It's crazy how similar it is. I tell people all the time, like, I've got a lot of asked a lot of questions from friends that I talk to. Would you ever go back? Or if you could go back, what would you do differently? This, that, and the other. And it's really like, I would never want to go back to any of that time. I had a heck of a time in school, and I never want to relive those experiences. I think that I did the best that I could in every situation. So I don't really have, I have regrets, but really I learned from those, and so I wouldn't want to go change them, because then I wouldn't be the same person that I am. And a lot of people don't think that way. So yeah, life in high school definitely happens every day, even as adults. And with some of the negative stuff that you carry out there, that adults carry out here, it's just a shame, because you're limiting yourself. I've said this in videos before. Getting and talking to and associating with people that have different values, different views and stuff, and trying to understand them and respect them for their understanding of the world, you get a better understanding of the world. It changes who you are as a person, and therefore you become a better version of yourself. There's a lot of things that you have to really learn by experience, And so the experiences that I have under my belt, I would not want to change them. Yeah. So that's what, a couple of the reasons why I say life's like high school. And I could give examples. Like, for one, I've always, like, been a person that gets sick pretty easily. So, like, if somebody has, like, the flu, or is carrying the flu around or whatever, and I wind up catching the flu quick, or any type of anything really, strep, bronchitis, just a lot of that. And when that happens, I spike a fever. And when I spike a fever, it's usually like a 102, 103 fever almost. And I'll develop cold sores, and they'll pop up on my mouth right here, around my lips and stuff. And even now, when that happens, if I go out to town, I get weird looks. I get people that whisper, things like that, because they associate things, fever, blisters, or any type of sores on the mouth to be like an STD. So I definitely deal with that type of stuff still, even though I'm an adult. It's so funny, though, because there's so many times that I'll look at these people that are be whispering or talking about it and looking at me weird. And I'd like to ask them if they've ever seen somebody with a cold sore before, just to make them feel like an ass. But at the same time, I would just be following into being the same as they are. And so I just silently walk away and smile. And, sometimes I guess that can be not good either, because then how would people, I guess if I would say something, they wouldn't unnaturally assume every time they see somebody. So I guess that could be like a character flaw that I have. So I don't feel like the incessant need to defend every little thing. Sometimes I just shake my head and walk away, because ignorance is bliss for the most part. So some of my takes on why life, or I guess comparing life and everyday life to high school. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next videos.